To all those people who want Ruben Amorim out, to all those fans who say there's been no progress under Ruben Amorim, well, this is the video for you then. Ever since Ruben Amorim has taken charge of Manchester United, he's had a lot of problems to deal with. From the media, from the fans, from his own team, and from the board, which is pretty useless and probably lied to him. But through all of it, there has been considerable progress, but a lot of people do not see it. So here's a couple of things I'll tell you where you see progress. When Ruben Amorim took charge of Manchester United, that dressing room was a mess. That dressing room was so toxic, and it had been toxic for about a year. Just look at Casemiro, for example. That man had checked out. And yet, just a couple days ago, he put in one of the best performances any United player has all season. And one of the reasons for that is Ruben Amorim has taken that dressing room, which had a lot of toxicity into it, and has made it into this one big happy family, players that play for one another. That is a humongous achievement, which nobody else notices, apparently. Apparently, the media are too focused on saying that his formation isn't good enough, but not necessarily seeing the actually much more difficult thing that he's done. Getting a bunch of players to play a formation is, yeah, it's tough, it's easy, whatever, but going in there and getting rid of all of the toxicity in that dressing room and making it into one team, one family, one that plays for one another, that's actually a very difficult thing. That's just one thing. The other thing where you see progress with him is, yeah, he's not winning that much. The players are apparently not to be blamed. But look at the other point. He doesn't only have none of his players. He has 10 odd players, but also he has no players in terms of we loaned out a couple of players like Sancho, Anthony, Rashford, and got nobody in return. How can you have a squad where you get rid of players, don't replace them, and then expect a manager to just miraculously play? Well, this isn't FIFA where you can take your striker and put him in goal and still win. This is the highest level. And one of the reasons why we're doing so well in the Europa League versus the Premier League is because the Premier League is the highest level. And you need a good squad to be able to win, to be able to perform and do well week in and week out. How can you do well when you don't have enough players? And then the other part is we've had a lot of injuries. You can't forget that. We've had a lot of injuries in the last couple of months. And even through that, we are doing pretty well. And when I say we're progressing, just look at the stats. A lot of people don't like looking at the stats. They go week to week. It's like on Sunday he loses, sack him. On Thursday he wins, yay! But on the following Sunday, probably tomorrow when they lose again, sack him again, which is utterly stupid. But if you take a look at his wins and losses over the months, it's improved. December was horrible. December was so bad where every single game that started, I thought we'd lose, and we did actually lose. We lost 5 games in December, but that has slowly gone away. The team is doing better. The team are getting more points. Now, in the last month or so, we are losing more games, but that's because of those injuries to not having players, and we have to prioritize the Europa League. How can you have people expecting us to win the Europa League and continue winning Premier League games without a full squad? It's just not going to happen. That's the reason why he's losing games, but at the same time, since December, when it was the worst of worst, we are doing better. We're doing better in terms of the amount of wins and draws that we're getting compared to losses. And also we're doing better in terms of the actual performance. If you look at them playing, there's a clear difference between them playing now versus at the beginning of the season. There is progression. Now we're not scoring that many goals, but that's not down to the manager. He has one striker. A striker who's 22, 23, completely shot of confidence. But there's nobody to replace him with. In an ideal situation, actually not an ideal one, in a normal situation, what you do is, if one striker is doing bad, especially if it's a kid, you put him on the bench and you have another more experienced striker to take to ease the pressure off him. We don't have that right now. And that's across multiple positions, and that's why we're scoring less goals. But to put all of that aside, one of the clear signs of progression, I can tell you under Ruben Amorim, is that feeling that we have right now. The feeling that we have had after the Lyon game, and the feeling that I have right now, that we all have after this Bilbao game. If there was no progression in Ruben Amorim, we wouldn't feel this positive. And it's not just because that we won a game. It's how we're winning games. And it's difficult to explain, but every fan knows. When you watch your team, You have that feeling in you. We can call it instinct, or you can call it just a connection to your team. And when you genuinely feel that your team is doing better and is progressing, and when you've had years and years worth of data to compare and look at, it actually feels for one that we're actually doing better. The last time I felt this was under Ten Hag when we just beaten Barcelona in his first season. So there is progress again with Ten Hag. After that first season, everything went down south. But Ten Hag did not have Ineos, right? And I know there's a lot of negativity about Ineos, and I'm not a big fan of them either. However, their signings have been good. Every single signing they've signed so far, people have liked at least a 6, if not even a 7 or 8 out of 10. So there is hope. There is definitely progress under Ruben Amorim, and I urge every single person to support him, because you never know, we could be back, but it is very unlikely. Anyways, thank you for watching. Take care, like and subscribe, and go Manchester.